This might end up being just a wee bit, just a wee bit of an angry rant. I am working under the assumption that Todd Phillips made this film to spite Warner Brothers. I'm working under the assumption that he asked for $200 million. How much money did the first Joker film cost? The first Joker film cost $55 million. This recent one cost $200 million. I'm working under the assumption that Todd Phillips did not want to make a sequel to his first film, that all he wanted was a standalone. And Warner Brothers was like, no, absolutely not. We need a sequel. We only gave you 55 million and you gave us 1.3 billion. We need a sequel to make as much money as the first Joker film. I can only assume that he was like, you know what? Since this fucking studio wants me to make a sequel, I'm going to increase the cost by 4. Now it's going to be 200 million for me to make this film. And then I'm going to shoot it in the exact same style. I'm going to go and get a super expensive actress in Lady Gaga. I'm going to turn half the film into musical and commercials. And then at the end, I'm going to kill off the main character and I'm going to request the ability to make a sequel to the sequel that I just made. Because there's no logical sense for anything in this film. The musical approach feels like it was tacked on after the fact. You know, like you write the script and you're like, you know what? Maybe I should turn this shit into a musical. But where would I put the musical notes? Like, where would I have the transitions for my character going into some form of a psychosis that causes him to see the world on a musical stage? You know what? That's too difficult. There's not going to be a psychosis that drags him into the musical stage. My character is just going to randomly transition into a musical, which is wild to me because anyone who's seen any of the Step Up films or any of the films in Hugh Jackman's fucking catalog would be able to sit down and go, this is how you do a transition. This is how you do a transition from a sad scene into a dance/musical. This is how you do a transition from a serious scene into a dance/musical and then retransition back to that serious scene. No, everything feels like a commercial. Like there's a super serious scene, and instead of focusing on the seriousness of that scene, it's interjected with this super lighthearted dance number and then goes right back to the serious scene without any type of transition in any way, shape, or form. I wasn't walking into this with spoilers. I don't give a fuck anymore. It does not matter to me. Like, I already low-key spoiled something a second ago, letting you know that Arthur Fleck fucking dies in this, but I'm going to talk about just everything in regards to this film that legitimately fucking pissed me off. Lady Gaga's character is a Harley Quinn type character, right? She becomes enamored with the idea of Arthur Fleck as the Joker. Like she wants to use him not only to define herself, but then also to kind of be her North Star in the direction that she is going. She is fucking underutilized in this film. Like the trailers would have you think that her and Arthur team up and go off on like this rampant chaos and destruction throughout all of fucking Gotham City before their reign of terror is in some way, shape, or form brought to an end. Her character is so stiff, not only from the way in which the character is acted, because I think she did a horrible fucking job in this movie, but also from the way in which her character is written. that her character comes off as a fraud before it's revealed that the character is a fucking fraud that's essentially just using him. The way in which Arkham is essentially portrayed in this, it's crazy to think that Arkham Asylum is being done better in maybe 2 minutes of screen time in the fucking Penguin than in a $200 million film. Arkham doesn't even feel like Arkham. 1 minute it feels like a jail, the next minute it feels like an insane asylum, then the next minute it feels like Guantanamo Bay. And it's why? I feel as though we've seen better versions of Gotham, of Arkham Asylum, in both Gotham, the TV show, and in the Penguin right now. Gotham is supposed to strike this really, really good balance between jail and an insane asylum for the criminally insane. Like, if you focused on the aspect of the criminally insane where they are locked away for the vast majority of the fucking day, this film has fucking Arthur walking into fucking security booth, making phone calls because he's cool with officers, walking into fucking the rec area where there's like 80 insane patients just chilling, watching TV or watching the news. And it's like, is this an insane asylum where they're supposed to be locked down, where they're supposed to be going through therapy on a constant basis, or is this just a fucking prison? You have to make up your mind, because at the beginning of the film it felt like an insane asylum. Everyone was locked away in their cells. Halfway through the film, it transitions from an insane asylum to a fucking prison where people are just walking around doing whatever, having casual conversations, watching TV. Then, for some weird fucking reason, on some weird transition level, it turns into Guantanamo Bay, where Arthur is in a fucking courtyard with a goddamn dog collar around his neck, and it's fucking raining. And it's like, well, what is it? Are we here to help? Are we just arrested? Are we torturing? What's the plan? What is the vision that you wanted Arkham Asylum to be? On another note, in regards to Arkham Asylum, how is it that her character can be fucking, how do I even put this? Because it's so stupid. So her character was never supposed to be in Arkham, and I'm talking about Harley Quinn. And she essentially forges some papers and some fucking documents and gets herself placed in Arkham. Then she causes a fire and attempts to escape with Arthur. They get to the fucking gate. She gets over the gate. They catch Arthur and bring him back, but then they take her away. Then the next day she comes back to Arkham, where she just broke out of, as somebody visiting on a conjugal fucking visit, and has sex with Arthur inside the cell. And at first I thought, this is an hallucination again, the exact same way that Zazie Beetz had a hallucination. But then she brings it up later on when she comes back to talk to him by claiming that she's pregnant, which of course we discover is a fucking lie and an attempt to manipulate him. But it's like, how does her character get as much leeway to do all this type of shit, where she can pretend to be an inmate, be in the prison, escape the prison by causing a fire, come back to the prison to have sex with him as a conjugal visit, and then come back again to basically tell him to embrace the Joker persona, where then she starts wearing the fucking makeup and showing up in court. Also, let's talk about the fucking court scene, because that makes no goddamn sense as well. So, okay, you have this guy who killed 5 people, right? And he's definitely gonna get the fucking electric chair. You're just going through the motions of this case while Harvey Dent presents it to the Gotham fucking masses, right? Okay, fine. He fires his defense attorney. The defense attorney is fucking gone. He chooses to represent himself. There's no court. I don't give a fuck if it's Gotham. There's no court which would allow him to redon the Joker mask or the Joker makeup coming into court, and then call victims that he essentially tortured, because he calls in Zazie Beetz' character from the first movie, and he calls in the short guy that he let go after he killed the other dude in his apartment. There's no court which would allow him to call those 2 people as character witnesses knowing what he did around them. That doesn't make any logical fucking sense. Then the bomb goes off, and the courtroom is in shambles. And my man walks out, and I can agree, you know, he walks out into the chaos, and he gets snatched up by some Joker loyalists, and you know, they take him away to try and get him away from the court scene. Then he freaks out and he runs away, and that's when he has like the last confrontation with Lady Gaga's Harleen Quinzel, where she basically points out that, you know, he's no longer Joker. He gave up the Joker persona, and she was only with him for that persona. And then she fucking leaves, and the police come and arrest him. There's not there's no chance. There's no shot that she would cause all that chaos, and when the police are pulling up to arrest him, they don't see her get up and walk away and not snatch her up and arrest her as well. Like, there's no way her character just gets to walk into the shadows as though she was never fucking there to begin with, after all the mad ravings that she was doing on TV, and then the way in which she dressed herself up to be in the fucking courtroom. No way she's not arrested as a fucking accomplice. And then the ending has to be the biggest fuck you ever, because I know exactly what Todd Phillips went for, which is that it's the exact same thing that they did on the Gotham TV show, and he wasn't even original enough to at least put some level of a fucking spin on it, which is something that Jerome Valeska essentially says, which is that even though I die, even though I am no longer around, my maliciousness, my evil, the sinister, what is dark about me will always be squirming around in the shadows of Gotham, within the people who are being basically pushed down and suppressed within their malcontent and their discontent. So he gets killed by another basically someone who believed in the Joker. He gets killed by that person. But then, shocker, that person takes the knife and carves the Joker smile onto his face, implying that this person is going to be the Joker that ends up running the fade with Batman later on down the line. And it's like, okay. Because we already had the bomb go off and scar Harvey Dent, so now he's gonna end up being Two-Face. And I forgot how many years this takes place after the first one. I don't fucking know. It's not saying how many years it takes past. 2 years. It's been 2 years since then. Bruce was like maybe 14 years old, 12 years old. So now that will make Bruce around maybe 16-ish. I know he leaves and he comes back as Batman maybe around 21, 22, somewhere around that. He comes back as Batman fucking young. So you now have his future Two-Face, who's essentially been created, who gives a shit. And you now also have the person who's going to actually be his Joker, because it's a young dude. Like when I say a young dude, he looks as though he's maybe 24, 25. So if we were to add maybe 5 years for Bruce, it's been 2 years since then, so he's probably around 16 years old. Was he 16 years old? Hold on. Now I gotta, how old was Bruce Wayne in Joker? How old was Bruce Wayne in Joker? He's 14? Hold on. Okay, so yeah. He's around 14. And then Joker is supposed to be 10 years older than Batman. So that actually fits. That dude, Bruce, would be around 21 in a few more years. That guy would be around 30 something by the time he ends up being like the traditional Joker that we are fucking familiar with. I'm tired. Like when I say I was watching this film, and the entire time I was watching this film, I was fucking pissed. That's not even a fucking understatement. I despise this film. And the fact that Todd Howard has the audacity to sit around and go, he wants to make a fucking sequel. Hell no. No. Absolutely not. Fuck no. You better not come back and attempt to make a fucking sequel to this shit. Let me know what y'all think. like comment down below if you've seen this film, if you're gonna see this film, if it's like later on in the weekend you have seen this film, just comment down below, man. Just let me know what you let me know. Let me know what you think, because I'm truly sad, because the first film I felt was a really good film that dealt with diving into mental illness, unexpectedly being the film that, in all honesty, spoke the most about mental illness and trauma. And I feel as though this film was basically created as a middle finger to Warner Brothers and major studios who want to go off and make sequels. And the question really has to be like I call him Todd Howard because I was thinking about Starfield, but the question has to be like, Todd Phillips, what was the point? Why if you decided to self-sabotage this, why? For what? I feel as though you could have done an honest to God good sequel to Joker, but you chose not to. And then you made sure that the ending ensured that you never had to bring back Joaquin Phoenix, or shit, maybe you didn't even have to bring back Lady Gaga in any way, shape, or form. Just why? And I didn't even stop to talk about the fucking shower scene, which has to be literally one of the most just, why was this opted for the film? Like, what? Fucking hell. I ain't got the energy. I'm sorry.